Welcome.
Yeah, episode number 5, Horse Lick Review.
Yep, I'm Nathan.
I'm Jake.
And we're here to fill you in on all the goings on. As usual.
Yeah. We're here to figure this thing out because we still don't know what this is exactly. But we're going to start the way we usually do.
Yeah.
With dumbass news stories.
Correct. And where that takes us, I don't know. Might take us beyond Thunderdome.
No, you can't go beyond the Thunderdome, man. And plus, if we go to the even if we go to the Thunderdome, only one of us
can go beyond. That's correct. You're right.
I don't want one of us to die.
All right, so let's get into the stories. I'll lead off with this. I just thought this was super cool. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles get 2 perfect commemorative manhole cover at the spot of their creation. So apparently in Peter Laird, yes, and Kevin Eastman, they were living in Dover, New Hampshire, apparently, when they first started. Yeah. And that's where they conceived the idea one night when they were, like, writing and brainstorming and stuff. And they thought it was just so crazy over the top that they were like, we got to go with this. And, of course, we know where that went. Yeah. But it's all started in Dover, New Hampshire. And Dover, New Hampshire has embraced this fully because they have, posted a sign in their city, like one of those memorial type cool street signs that says, this is the home of the crew, this is where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created in 1983, I think it was. And, but the city created customized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle manhole covers that they put on their manholes. With, like, the silhouettes, you can go on Entertainment Weekly or whatever.
And by manholes, you mean, like, entrances to the sewers.
Not men's assholes.
Yeah, not where you put your butt plug.
Not rectums, no. Okay. But actual manholes.
That does beg the question.
In the streets.
Would you use a Ninja Turtle butt plug?
For sure.
So
a Raphael.
A Raphael?
Yeah.
See, I'd want it to actually be... Yeah, well, that'd be fine if it was like a Raphael face, but you pull it out by a manhole cover. That's the tail part.
Yeah. It's just him, like, in torpedo pose.
Yeah.
With a manhole cover at the base.
Or you could make it... or it could be festive, and it could be like the turtle blimp, but instead of a propeller...
I think there should be a whole series.
Yeah.
We should pitch this to Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. They could get into a whole thing. Like, have you seen, like...
Oh, man. Ones that could be preloaded with, like, the little pizzas from the Pizza Blaster things. You could flex your anus and fire pizzas out of the back of your butt plug.
That would work. That would be awesome. Like, have you seen these other... There's this whole line of, like, monster-type dildo things. I can't remember the brand. Yeah. But, like, Papa Meat and people on YouTube, like, have been sponsored by them. Like, that company, they should team up. Make some Ninja Turtle. I think that those would sell like hotcakes, dude.
Ninja Turtle sex toys.
Right, exactly. So that's my little short one. I just thought that was cool.
Did you even finish, or did I just like?
No, I mean, they celebrated the because what is the anniversary? It's like it's 40 years ago.
Really? Okay, so wow, it was 83.
40th anniversary, and these manhole covers are cool, dude. Like,
they do look pretty awesome.
So it got silhouettes of the turtles, and it says, I guess the address maybe that they lived at, 28 Union Street, Dover, New Hampshire. It kind of looks 1984, because that's when it was printed. Okay, 1984, birthplace of Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It kind of looks like a silhouette of the original cover.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That is cool.
So go check that out. You can Google it. There's many sites covered in. Entertainment Weekly actually gives you good pictures of the manhole covers, and I think they're the one that had the cool sign that was up in town too. I'm not sure, but yeah, check that out. It's really cool. It's a short little story, but I did not realize they started out in New Hampshire, and didn't realize that Dover was. I mean, they love it. Apparently, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, the turtles are huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, capitalize on that. Honestly, it's kind of sad that it took 40 years for him to capitalize on it. But I mean, better late than never.
Yeah.
All right. So most of mine, I found these could be. I took wild swings and may have misses because I just sort of found like stupid headlines and I wanted to go into it raw.
Man.
So I didn't prepare. This could be terrible, but keeping with the sex toy theme that I forced upon that turtle story, my first story is charity shop in Swansea asks people not to donate sex toys. Bernardo's, also a funny fucking place for sex toys to be donated. Bernardo's customers have been asked to refrain from donating, quote, used and unused marital aids, as they, quote, aren't quite the sort of toys we're looking for, end quote. A charity shop has asked people not to donate sex toys after recent X-rated donations. In a social media post, the Bernardo's branch in Gorsinian, Swansea was keen to remind people that it's a children's charity. Wait, hold up. See, again, didn't read these.
People are donating sex toys to a children's charity? What a bunch of pervs, man. What's funny is like I didn't pick it as one of my stories.
Not like that.
But there was another donation thing, story that I decided not to go with. It was the one with a Goodwill where a guy donated a bunch of stuff, and it had a cluster bomblet and a bunch of ammunition with other stuff. They had to call in a bomb squad to come get it because they were scared it was like active.
So you know what's funny? I even have after this story, at some point, I have another donation story
nice.
About a charity thing. And it's not that one.
And I didn't even put that one on the list, but it reminded me of it. Let's see.
If it's another charity one, I wonder if it's going to be the one I did actually, but
I got one here.
You're
not done. Keep going then.
So yeah, it's a children's charity, and it's said to have said it had a range of ages on its volunteer team. We therefore ask that you refrain from donating your used and unused marital aids. I just love that they don't even call them sex toys. They use the highly class marital aids. The branch said in a statement. Customers were also reminded that the branch has CCTV so that these items can be tracked back to their owners.
Wow.
According to the Bernardo's website, other items branches cannot accept include car booster seats. Okay, weird. I mean, I get why if you
they can be expired and stuff like that.
Well, okay. I was gonna assume if you attach a dildo to it, I wouldn't want it, but car seat's a car seat to me. But mattresses, electric blankets. Yeah, I get electric blankets. Those are a hazard. And white goods such as washing machines or fridge freezers. Why the fuck can't you have? Look, what?
That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. A spokesperson for Bernardo said the charity was always hugely appreciative of donations from the community. Apparently, unless they're sex toys, washing machines.
Well, I guess you could fill the refrigerators and freezers with sex toys, and when you open them up, just piles upon piles of sex toys just roll out.
But it's fair to say that these items aren't quite the sort of toys we're looking for, they added. Yeah, you said that already. All right, this winter, frontline staff at Bernardo's will be helping struggling children and families across Wales by providing them with essential items like food and clothing, but apparently not fake dicks. I added that part. The money raised from our shops help us to carry on this vital work, so please do donate any clothing or children's toys you can to your local Bernardo's store. Oh, and this comes to us from Sky News, by the way.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the UK that's just ridiculous, I've noticed, over the past few weeks, and here's another one that kind of ties into this. Another thing that ties in to the sex toy thing. Okay?
All right.
Here's an article. Comes from Independent. Found. Dolphins deliberately get high on pufferfish. Oh, this is not one of sex toys. I thought it was. I was thinking something different. Sorry, it's not about sex toys, but it reminded me of this. The sex toys did for some reason. Dolphins deliberately get high on pufferfish nerve toxins by carefully chewing and passing them around. So
you read headlines like that and you think, we're not so different, dolphins.
We're not.
You and I.
No, they're very close. It's like, obviously they're thought of as one of the most intelligent species in the animal kingdom. Experts believe they have put their ingenuity to use in the pursuit of getting high.
The smartest ones get caught in tuna nets, right?
This was filmed for a documentary. They saw young dolphins were seen carefully manipulating a certain kind of pufferfish, which, if provoked, releases a nerve toxin. And though large doses of toxin can be deadly in small amounts, it is known to produce a narcotic effect. And the dolphins appeared to have worked out how to make the fish release just the right amount.
Flipper, who taught you to use pufferfish toxin? I learned it from you, Dad.
Yeah. Carefully chewing on the puffer and passing it between one another, the marine mammals then enter what seems to be a trance-like state.
Hell yeah.
So these guys, these dolphins have figured out how to trip balls together. I mean, what's wrong with that?
That's awesome. Can you imagine what that probably feels like underwater, too?
Oh, man, they're probably having the time of their lives. And they have no laws restricting their party time.
They're better than us. Holy shit, they're more evolved, dude.
They are. They are. I think they are, too. By far.
Can they teach us? Can they teach us their ways?
I want them to.
How do I chew on a pufferfish perfectly in such a way that
I don't want to take that chance.
That I can get dolphin high.
Imagine sitting around just putting it. Here, you come over and grab it out of my mouth with your mouth.
Oh no, man! I kind of want to.
Whole room of people in a circle just passing it down.
I want to watch this documentary, see how the dolphins do it, and see if I can glean their technique, and then maybe I'll roll the dice.
Yeah, and if you, yeah. What do you got next?
Oh yeah, cool. I guess I am doing the donation story next. Human skull spotted in Florida charity shop's Halloween display.
Yo, that was one of mine.
This is also coming from Sky News. Oh, so wait, did you have this one on standby?
Yeah, I think I did. I think I put it
from Sky News.
Yep, Sky News.
Right.
That's the first one we've ever had.
I think we've
picked
had
the same thing, right?
I think maybe we've had one that overlapped, or I think we've had near misses. I decided not to do that one. But anyway, the owner of the store said the skull had been found in a storage unit purchased years beforehand. Man, I hate it when they change the way the text is, and it doesn't seem like part of the article. But I digress. An anthropologist made a haunting discovery after a real human skull was spotted in the Halloween display of a charity shop in Florida. Police were alerted after the customer suspected the head smiling back at them was more than just a spooky decoration. The shopper happened to be an anthropologist, someone who specializes in the scientific study of humans. Wait, so this guy's probably a dick that goes to Halloween. That skull doesn't look real. You know what I mean? He's going around looking at all the plastic skulls and shit.
Man, trying to make sure nobody has any actual human parts.
Probably not, dude. He's probably just making fun of him. And then one day he walks in, he's like, my God.
There's an actual skull here. There is, you can, I don't know, there's ways around that. You can, own bones.
Well.
Maybe in certain states and, certain rules.
Well, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm pretty sure I told you about this, when she gets thrown, the chick, I can't remember who it is, gets thrown into that sluice pit or whatever, and all the skeletons are bouncing around. Those are real human skeletons because it was cheaper for them to buy human skeletons from China than fake plastic model skeletons in America. Now, granted, that was the 70s, but...
I'm sure China has a plethora of human remains that you can just have shipped over.
But, yeah, so... Anyway... the shopper happened to be an anthropologist who specialized in the scientific study of humans, meaning they were able to tell the difference between the real skull and an artificial counterpart. The owner of the store in North Myers, all right, is that Fort Myers? Said the skull had been found.
The thrift store is in North Fort Myers.
Okay. Skull had been found in a storage unit purchased years beforehand. Lee County Sheriff's Office said... Probably not much. Florida cops are stupid, dude, speaking from experience. Anyway, in a twist of not so wow, dude. Humorous, but they spelled it like the bone. They were really going for the pun here.
Ooh.
Events today, Lee County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit detectives were notified of a skull located at the thrift store.
Now that's comedy.
In North Fort Myers. Based upon the observations of detectives on the scene, the skull is believed to be that of a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Not believed to be suspicious in nature.
Well, yeah.
I find it kind of suspicious.
They're going to carry out further tests on the remains. The case is not believed to be suspicious in nature.
Oh, well, I don't believe it. I always believe it's suspicious until proven not suspicious.
Oh, man, sometimes you just got a skull.
Yeah, sometimes you just find a skull and you put it in your thrift shop.
Sometimes you just want one, too. The Misfits taught us that.
Yeah. Ever since I heard that song, I've wanted some skulls to put on my wall.
Yeah. I haven't gone as far as to hack the head off little girls.
No, not that far yet. Here's one. It's just silly and lighthearted. There's a video included if people want to go and look at this. Because it's hilarious. It's just stupid and hilarious. Okay. Italian reporter attacks rowdy football fan with inflatable banana on transfer deadline day. So, transfer deadline day is renowned for attracting rowdy football fans wielding increasingly outlandish pranks against reporters as they attempt to deliver live bulletins. And this video is playing right now. The guy fucking with him. So people want to go look at this. It's funny. The guy's just being a dingleberry. He's not really doing anything bad. But reporting live outside of Stamford Bridge, an Italian journalist decided to get revenge upon an unruly football fan who began to ambush him with a giant inflatable banana. I wouldn't really call it ambushing. He's just kind of like harassing and kind of poking him with it, and finally he gets pissed off and he starts beating him with it, and then he goes back to but then he gets his cool and he goes back to his report, but I mean. So
he looked off, dude. Oh man, he looked off before the video faded. He just gave a sharp look. It looked like he was about to pull a Hogan.
Yeah,
finger point at him.
Yeah, after creeping up upon the unwitting journalist, reporting for Sport Italia, the bearded fan begins to repeatedly poke the reporter with the inflatable fruit and rub him exuberantly on the head. Just under 20 seconds, this dude got so mad, he snatched the banana and started beating the guy, chasing him with it. And then he runs back and he finishes his interview, though. His report. So, kudos to him there. He regained his cool very quickly. So I just wanted to cover that because this was of many...
regular Waluigi Cronkite.
Oh, I love that meme earlier that you posted of Waluigi, but as well bringing him up. What do you got next?
All right. Third story from Sky News. We thought starfish didn't have heads. We were wrong.
Oh, no.
A study involving a British university suggests rather than being headless, starfish have actually shed their bodies over time to eventually become only heads. Starfish have long been presumed to have no heads, but new research suggests they may in fact be nothing but.
This changes my life.
It's absolutely nothing. Their distinctive shape has long puzzled scientists, with their bodies incomparable to most animals. They are from a group called echinoderms, which also includes sea urchins and sand dollars. Their bodies are divided symmetrically into 5 sections, and until now it had been, quote, impossible.
So are sea urchins and sand dollars only heads too?
I don't know. We'll see, man. Or maybe we won't. To see how those chunks related to the bodies of other animals. Front or back, head or bottom. Even experts were stumped. Dr. Jeff Thompson from the University of Southampton said the makeup of echinoderms, quote, has been a mystery to scientists for as long as we've been studying them, end quote. Fuck, it doesn't seem like you're studying them very hard then, right? Fuck, we didn't know they were just heads till now. How long have fucking starfish been around? How long have people been studying?
They've only been studying starfish for 200 years?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Probably longer. I'm sure some fucking drunk pirate was like, oh, look at that crazy thing.
Well, you know what drunk pirates were doing with starfish.
Yeah. Yeah. Putting them on mermaids.
They are ahead.
Making them bras.
They were getting head.
Yeah.
From the starfish
I thought
that is only a head.
I thought they were making bras for mermaids.
Well, they're doing that too.
Wait, does that mean mermaids have always been getting their titties sucked by starfish?
Exactly, bro.
All right. In a bid for charity, an international team led by researchers at Stanford University in the U.S. compared the starfish molecular structure markers to other members of a wider animal group called Teutostratomes. No.
We'll just go with that.
Yep, sure. This features vertebrates as well as echinoderms, but they all share a common ancestor, allowing the scientists to directly compare their development. Using advanced molecular and genomic techniques, they created a 3D map showing their specific genes were expressed during a starfish's development. Big crawling head. It's just a big crawling head.
That's a good headline.
Yeah.
That's good for I just pictured that on that something like that This Island Earth poster.
Yeah, it does seem like something from a
what you just
50s B movie.
Right.
Dr. Thompson, co-author of the study, said a crucial part of a conventional bilateral body was missing. The genes typically involved in the patterning of the trunk of the animal weren't expressed, he said. It seems the whole echinoderm body plan is roughly equivalent to the head in other groups of animals. The fingers suggest that rather than being headless, starfish have just shed their ancestor's body over time to eventually become only heads. Wait, so hold on.
And after I inserted my penis into the mouth of the starfish, I realized, wait, this is just a head and a mouth.
I thought I was fucking its butt. This is gross. But that begs the question, like, what the fuck did their bodies look like? If that's the head, like,
I want to see an ancient starfish's body.
Yeah. There's got to be a fossil, right? I hope they find a.
That would be awesome. Would have had like a weird human-like body.
It looks like the Justice League members infected by Starro.
Yeah.
Anyway, lead author Laurent Formery from Stanford said, it's best described as a head crawling along the sea floor. God,
that's awesome.
I'm just imagining like a head with crab legs.
When you read this, yeah, it's like it makes starfish sound so much cooler.
It does, and it sounds like a trailer. It sounds like a trailer for a 50s horror movie.
Somebody needs to do one of those cheesy B-rate horror movies, like with like the sharks and shit, but do like starfish.
Yeah,
and it's like the
crawling cranium of the sea.
Flips over and it's got some weird ass eyes.
Yeah. Anyway, the peer-reviewed study has been published in the Journal of Nature. If anyone is interested, for a more serious take on that story. All right, what you got next, man?
I got some really, really important record-breaking news. The human mattress dominoes world record broken in the Philippines.
All right.
November 10th, reported by UPI.com. A mattress company in the Philippines broke a Guinness World Record by gathering 2,355 people and mattresses and toppling them like dominoes.
It's already news to me that there's a fucking record for that.
Yeah. Mattress firm Uratex celebrated its 55th anniversary by breaking the Guinness World Record for the largest human mattress dominoes. I wonder who held the record previously. Yeah. The company said the number 2,355 was chosen intentionally, with 23
because it was more than the previous record.
With 23 representing the year 2023 and 55 representing the years the company has been in operation.
Oh, suck a dick.
Company officials said it took a couple practice runs before the assembled humans and mattresses were ready to topple in their official attempt. The chain reaction was set off by CEO Natty Ching, and the entire procession of falling humans and mattresses lasted for about 20 minutes. So, Uratex, congratulations on your record of human mattress dominoes.
The fuck? Alright.
Go ahead.
I got one that... This is from Indy 100. Never heard of this website before. Don't know if it's reliable. But also, the headline itself, I want to speculate as soon as I read the headline, because this sounds dumb. It sounds like this could have gone very poorly. Scientist discovers oldest water on Earth and drinks it. Like, well, first of all, what the fuck do you think was in this water?
Did he drink it all? Now there's no oldest water on Earth anymore?
Scientists makes freshest urine on Earth with oldest water. But, like, what was he doing? It's like, yeah, clearly.
But now, if he drank it all, he's gonna have to find the oldest water again.
Yeah, clearly you can tell that this is old water. It tastes like T-Rex piss.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. I've synthesized T-Rex piss. I know what T-Rex piss tastes like. Yeah. A scientist who found the oldest water on Earth ever discovered on Earth decided the best course of action was, of course, to drink it. Professor Barbara Sherwood Lawler, or Lolar, was leading a team of geologists studying a Canadian mine in 2016 when she made the remarkable discovery. The flowing water. I hope they tell us how they fucking identified that it's the oldest water on Earth.
I would hope they would.
The flowing water about 3 kilometers below the surface was between 1.5 BN and 2.6. Oh, so that's an abbreviation for billion. 2.6 billion years old, according to tests, making it the oldest water found on Earth. What kind of tests? When people think about this water, they assume it must be some tiny amount of water trapped within the rock, said Professor Sherwood Lawler, or Lolar. But in fact, it's very much bubbling right up at you. These things are flowing at rates of liters per minute. The volume of the water is much larger than anyone anticipated. I assume...
And it tastes great.
Its buoyancy is because of all of the mammoth cum that's been trapped within it. Upon tasting the ancient water, she found that it was very salty and bitter because of the aforementioned mammoth cum, I'm assuming.
Most likely.
And much saltier than seawater because of the mammoth cum. That was an encouraging sign because saltier water tends to be older. I also want to say again, because of the mammoth cum. In this case, where the water has been aging for billions of years, it is hardly surprising.
Because of the mammoth cum.
If you're a geologist who works with rocks, if you're a geologist, don't you have to work with rocks, first of all? You've probably licked a lot of rocks.
If you're a really bad geologist, maybe you're accidentally picking up like petrified shit.
Yeah.
And so...
Look, it's granite. If you're a geologist who works with rocks, you've probably licked a lot of rocks, said Sherwood Lolar.
I'm pretty sure. Hey, I'm Sherwood. I'm pretty sure you're the only dude out there licking rocks. Okay?
I don't know about that, man. Like licking rocks.
Let's do a poll.
That's like saying if you're a marine biologist who works with orcas, you probably fucked a lot of orcas.
Yeah, I mean,
not necessarily.
I would love to hear from actual other geologists. Tell me whether they've been licking rocks or not. I don't feel like that's... I think that guy's really just assuming everybody else likes licking rocks because he does.
Yeah. I'm really into licking limestone. It doesn't taste anything like limes. Why did we name it that? Yeah. Her team also found... That's a her, man. She's a her. Sherwood. Lolar.
Oh, Sherwood? Oh, okay. My bad.
Her team also found that life had once been present in the water by looking at the sulfate, the composition of salts in it. We were able to indicate that the signal we are seeing in the fluids, the mammoth cum, has to have been produced by microbiology. And most importantly, mammoth cum, it has to have been produced over a very long time scale. The microbes that produce this signature couldn't have done it overnight. This has to be an indication that the organisms have been present in these fluids on a geological time scale. Fortunately, the scientists had no terrifying sci-fi movie-esque reaction to drinking the ancient water and lived to tell the tale. Well, I don't know. When she becomes a were-mammoth or were-dinosaur, we'll see.
Yeah.
The paper was published in Nature in 2016. All right, that's the end of that one.
I have another a wonderful record. Well, let's see.
All right.
Coming from the UPI. Idaho man, Amazing Race contestants attempt chopsticks in beard record.
What now?
November 9th. On November 9th, an Idaho man with more than 250 Guinness World Records Records titles teamed up with a duo of amazing race contestants to break a record for putting chopsticks into a beard.
Okay.
Serial record breaker David Rush attended an amazing race watch party with contestants and fellow Idahoans Joel Strasser and Garrett Smith, and the trio took on the record for most chopsticks put into a beard in 1 minute. Team of 2. Strasser previously captured the solo version of the record with 59 chopsticks, and he also holds records including most toothpicks in a beard, and most baubles in a beard, and most straws in a beard. So this guy holds many records in the vein of beard.
Putting shit in your beard.
Yeah. Stuffing shit in my beard records. Rush and Smith took turns inserting the chopstick into Strasser's beard, ending the minute with 110. However, the men determined 6 would be disqualified under Guinness World Record rules, leaving them with a total of only 104. The record attempt must now be reviewed by Guinness World Records officials to become official. I feel that Guinness is just stupid. Like, you could do a record for anything.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna submit a record for. I'm gonna pick my nose for 48 hours straight.
how much you want to bet the world record for picking your nose is way longer than
It probably is.
hours?
It's probably like fucking
3 years.
3 years. Guy didn't remove his finger from his nose for 3 years.
Didn't remove thumb from anus for 2 months.
Well, they can't be really trusted because I know, like, I don't trust them. Like, you know, all that stuff with Billy Mitchell. People listening to this might know
was
the
that
Billy
on
Mitchell
Guinness,
stuff.
though?
He was in Guinness, and so was that other guy who's like, I can't remember his name right now, but he lied about a ton of video game records.
Hold on now. With the Billy Mitchell thing, like
They struck them all from the records, but
the original record was legit, right? Not it was
his.
The big thing was when he for those who don't know what we're talking about, watch King of Kong. The documentary, like, it's really interesting.
That it started there, but then after that he kept fabricating shit too.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, his first record I think was legit. You do have to give it, even though
When he was a kid, yeah.
he's a complete tool, but you got to give him credit for the first one. It's when he premiered that videotape that had the weird edit.
Oh, but there's been you haven't caught up on all the newest shit. Him trying to sue all these people for defamation.
Oh yeah, no, I've watched some shit about that, and he's just coming off like an even bigger douche than he already is.
Yeah, he's ruined. They removed all of his records from Twin Galaxies and Guinness, everything.
Yeah, honestly, if you think about it, he's like, is he the first disgraced like video game player?
Oh.
No, I mean, think about it, because it's King Kong, dude. Not the first disgrace, but like, since he's found out, would he be like the oldest as far as generationally?
Probably, because oldest is generationally, yeah.
Other people were disgraced before that, but would he be like, so technically?
Yeah, because I mean, there was, before they found him out, like, there were tons of like speedrunners who were caught and like disgraced because they were really renowned in those communities and found out that they were cheating and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, as far as like, he's the biggest. He was like a legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and one of the first ever, big time legends for video game stuff. So yeah,
and
I
he
really
could
agree
have
with
been
that.
like, dude, if he hadn't become such a douche and just let his record die with grace, he'd have been fine. But goddamn,
he just kept coming with more. Like, they found that one he was doing that. He was trying to break. He was supposedly breaking the record, and he was using a MAME machine when he wasn't using real hardware, or real software, and then hardware from real arcade machine. And then another one, he sold himself out, took a picture
of what he
and
used,
showed he had an 8-way joystick.
Yeah.
I think it's what it was when the joystick for the original Donkey Kong didn't work that way, and they could give you an advantage on the ladders and your movement and stuff. And he just kept doing stupid shit, and he just keeps, and then he keeps hiring lawyers and trying to sue people for defamation and all this other shit. He's gonna go broke paying all these fucking lawyers.
His hot sauce business will fail.
And I don't even think that was his. I think that was like his dad's or something, and he took it over.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I mean, I'm not sure.
Because Billy Mitchell's gonna hear about it. Fucking soon.
It'd be like, that's defamation.
It was my hot sauce. Wasn't it something? I don't even remember. Watch King of Kong. You'll see it.
What you got?
All right. Well, how many more stories do you got so we can kind of finish around the same time?
I got like, oh shit.
Oh, did I
that's all right. Sir. I can't believe you did that to me in the middle of this podcast.
But
I got like
3.
One or two more.
All right, cool. So that'll work. I'm gonna get into some not so much.
Oh, I got 3. I got 3. It's a little shit.
Not so much news stories, but I've got a comic book story. X-Men. So if you've been keeping track of the X-Men stuff, the Krakoan era is getting ready to come to a close. I just wanted to bring this up because it's like, I'm hoping it's good, but they've already done something similar. It's looks like they're bringing the original X-Men back, and I'm talking about 60s original X-Men, pre Archangel Angel, pre-Fur Beast.
Yeah.
Jean Grey when she was Marvel Girl, and Cyclops, when his nickname
Cyclops?
when his nickname was Slim. And they, the blue and yellow like unitards that they had. But what's weird to me about this, and again, hopefully it's good, and we'll see where it comes, is they've already done something like this where like a few years ago, where Beast was pissed with Cyclops and how Cyclops was acting when he was like in a weird, like seemed more like Magneto than his typical, characterization. So he brought them at a certain time period forward in time to give Cyclops shit, and they were stuck there for a few years. And I think, and then through a bunch of comic book nonsense that I don't want to explain, they eventually returned him back to their timeline. And I'll leave it at that. There's more I'd go into, but anyway. So it says, Marvel's upcoming X-Men relaunch has a writer and artist and some non-traditional choices. Apparently there's going to be a whole line of books, but hopefully this article talks mostly about this original X-Men stuff. The upcoming X-Men revamp will have some non-traditional choices that have some people at Marvel on edge already. The relaunch is still some months away, but the next generation of Marvel's X-Men franchise is already taking shape, according to the man responsible for bringing it into the world. At the end of October, Tom Brevoort, Marvel executive editor and the main man who will take over stewardship of Marvel's Mutant Comics at some point next year, shared in his Substack newsletter that the first script for the new era of X-Men has been completed and is currently being drawn. The experience of reading the first script he shared was weird because the scale of the venture is so great in scope. This is a far cry from building a new relaunch for Avengers or Fantastic Four. It's relaunching an entire line of titles, which...
So they're still going to do that, splitting it into fucking different...
Yeah, probably, man, but that, like, they've kind of done that with the Krakoan era, like, several times. It's not like...
X-Men and Spider-Man have been like that for years, though, right? Like,
yeah, to a certain extent.
Multiple books.
But I'm hoping they get to this original X-Men thing, creating the infrastructure between them that will make up the new parameters of their world and how they all interact and to what degree, as well as deciding what characters will end up where and in whose hands. I've done a lot of things in my years of this job, but I've never had to think so broadly about so many characters and books at one time. See, because the thing is I'm in the middle of the fall of the fall of X, and it's been pretty good, to be honest with you. But I don't know where they're going. I hope it doesn't revert to status quo like X-Mansion stuff, because the Krakoan era has been like it's been really good for the most part. There's been some stuff about it that wasn't perfect, but I don't want the X-Men to take a step back, So hopefully, we'll see some more. But so far, he continued, I've made a couple of non-traditional choices that have made some of the folks around me a little bit edgy, and I can't even say with a certainty that they are the right choices. All I can go on is that my gut tells me that's the way to go, but it really is working without a net. That's as much as so that's as much as he's going to say. He won't tell us who the writer is, but I guess one thing that I've read is the original X-Men are supposed to be going on like some sort of multiversal time hopping adventure. I think they're gonna, and again, this is when they sort of first got together. I think I read something in a different article where they're supposed to fight like Jean Grey when she has Phoenix powers. So like the X-Men at their most inexperienced and worst, like Iceman pretty much throws snowballs and looks like a slushy.
Yeah.
Like, let's make them fight a god.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what, I don't know. It could be interesting. I'm hoping that I'm hoping it will be at least as good in quality, or at least surpass the current lineup we've gotten. Because it's been mostly good for quite a few years. There was probably a 6-month slump somewhere in there, but it's been pretty good. I hope it doesn't, falter. Anyway, on to the next.
Okay, I have a couple. I might combine these couple of short ones because they're very short.
All
right. One I didn't even know, so I thought this was neat. That there's the National Toy Hall of Fame in New York. Did you know about this?
I knew that there was a Toy Hall of Fame. I didn't know where it was located.
They announced their inductees for this year. One is baseball cards.
Seems like that would have been in there way longer. Like, much sooner.
Baseball cards. Cabbage Patch Kids. The Fisher-Price Corn Popper, which is this little thing pushes around like a lawnmower, and the little thing goes in the little dome. You know what I'm talking about? And then Nerf.
And that's
the Nerf ball. Yeah, the picture they show is the original Nerf ball, but just says Nerf in general. So I guess Nerf is just as a whole is just getting put into the Hall of Fame. Which I guess it deserves it.
Maybe it is just the ball though. Maybe it's the original ball.
It says the other 3 inductees were chosen from 12 finalists, including Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Battleship, Choose Your Own Adventure books, and Ken.
Barbie's got to be in there already then.
Oh, for sure. So, yeah, that's just I'll probably start keeping up with that more. Than I didn't realize there was anything.
Yeah, I remember like a few years back, Mr. Potato Head got inducted.
Oh, really?
Occasionally, I hear like that. I don't know where I hear that news story, but it's one of those things, man. Like when you hear the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees that you don't give a fuck about.
Right. Well, then there was another one here, real quick. It's a theft of 2 million dimes from a truckload of coins from U.S. Mint leaves 4 facing federal charges. So apparently these 4 men, while the truck driver, he didn't make it far. He was in Philadelphia. He was heading to Miami. Well, he was still in Philadelphia when he stopped to sleep. So he didn't make it very far before he had to stop and nap.
Yeah.
But while he was asleep during the night of April 13th, these thieves made off with a portion of its cargo, $750,000 in dimes. A shipment weighing about 6 tons. Of course, they left thousands of coins scattered all over this lot he was parked in northeast Philadelphia. And it really totaled, I think, what was it? Where's the rest of this? Really totaled after dropping thousands of dimes in the parking lot. It was more like $234,500 in stolen dimes. I don't know what you thought they were going to do with this, but anyway, it says it showed the 6 men dressed in gray hoodies, armed with bolt cutters, approaching the truck in the middle of the night and breaking into it and loading the coins into smaller bags and into a waiting truck. This was linked to a longer spree. A spree that had been going on, I guess, by these same guys. All pretty young men. Federal charges, they're going to be screwed. I think it said something about, where is it? Oh, they had been apparently attacking tractor trailers passing through that region for some time. That it also netted these robberies had netted the thieves frozen crab legs, shrimp, meat, beer, and liquor. So these guys were just stealing whatever came through in trucks. But they got caught, obviously, because any of this type of shit these days, any kind of heist or robbery, you don't get away with that. Yeah, people haven't gotten away with that since the late 1800s, early 1900s.
What, like heists and robberies?
Well, maybe into the 20s,
shit,
30s.
I was going to say, you had several bank robbers that were just like...
Yeah, but most of those people ended up dying.
Eventually, but that's because they hit shit several times.
Yeah,
man. I mean,
they go back and hit the same banks.
Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde weren't really that long ago, if you think about it.
Right. And then, you want to go ahead? I was just excited. I don't know if you saw, because we were talking about it earlier, the Terrifier 3 teaser.
Oh, sweet.
Did you see that?
Is it supposed to be him at Christmas?
It's going to be around Christmas time.
That's awesome, yeah, because buddy of mine had gone to, like, I guess a showing, and they handed out promotional art, and I was like, so the next one's because it was him wearing, like, a Santa Claus outfit.
Yeah, and the kid comes downstairs, and, like, he thinks it's Santa, and he turns around, and he's like, his smile. But, like, yeah, so anybody has not seen the Terrifier movies, and you're into just over-the-top, crazy gore, and really well done acting as a mime clown.
If you like slasher movies,
yes, and slashers,
you should love the Terrifier series.
For sure.
Highly recommend. Oh, that last story about the X-Men was from Popverse. I don't think I credited them.
Oh, I forgot to credit some people too, I think. It's okay.
But, okay, so this next one, not much of a story. I figured we could debate this, see if we agree with it.
Okay.
But this is from CBR.com, which I think stands for Comic Book Resource. I can't remember. But Spider-Man's 10 smartest villains in Marvel Comics.
Shocker.
Hey, to be fair, motherfucker.
You laughed. You knew the job. That's just
to
being
be
a
fair,
dick.
he invented his gauntlets. You put some respect on Shocker's name.
He's just never very successful.
Yeah, but you know what? There's times, man, that the Shocker's been a threat. I like the Shocker, dude. I've always been a big fan of the Shocker.
Well, wouldn't it be like Osborn or like Octavius?
Well, number 10, and I'll read most of the descriptions for these guys. We'll skip over most of the preamble and everything, but number 10, they have the Tinkerer, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, first appearing in The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, Issue Number 2, 1963. It says, a thorn in Spider-Man's side, almost since the hero's inception. The Tinkerer is an engineering genius capable of creating lethal gadgets from common household items. An older man boasting no overt superpowers, the Tinkerer chooses to work from the shadows, fashioning dangerous costumes and devices that test the extent of Spider-Man's powers. The Tinkerer is known for upgrading supervillains Mysterio, the Kingpin, and even the Black Cat have utilized his services over the years. The villain who uses his smarts to consistently make the web-slinger's life more dangerous. Now, that's a fair one. He's created a lot of tech for other villains. He's done, that's a solid 10, but let's see who number 9 is. Number 9 is the Smythe family. All right. So created by Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Mary Wilshire, and Louise Simonson, first appearing in The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, Issue 25, 1965 by Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and Sam Rawson. And The Amazing... This must be talking about, like, Alistair and his dad, and that's why they've got different issues listed. And Sam Rawson and The Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1985 by Louise Simonson, Mary Wilshire, Pat Redding, Bob Sharon, and Janice Chang. Similar to the Tinkerer, the Smythe family are engineers who use their immense intelligence for criminal gain. While Spencer Smythe was pushed into a life of crime through desperation due to his terminal illness, his son Alistair is more vindictive and cruel. Both utilize their Spider Slayer tech to make life hell for Spider-Man. What makes Alistair such an intelligent and dangerous foe is the manner in which he is forever upgrading his Spider Slayer designs. Over the years, he had produced cutting-edge killing machine after killing machine. Readers get the sense that even if Alistair were to be permanently defeated, his... Jesus, man. It's bouncing around. Give me a second. His creations would endure to plague the wall crawler. I guess, arguably, the Smythe family, because there's multiple of them, are smarter than the Tinkerer.
I wouldn't even count them.
Well,
because it's a whole group of people.
Yeah, but if it wasn't, you could probably put each individual at least at 10, because Alistair is really smart, and the Spider Slayers have, like, constantly, fucked with Spider-Man. Now, this one, see, the Hobgoblin. Now, don't get me wrong.
Let's skip the creators, and let's get to the juice of it and see what they say.
All right. The Hobgoblin.
Just their explanation for it.
A master of conniving maneuvers. And I'm assuming they're going with Jason Massendale, the original Hobgoblin. The guy who started out as a fashion designer. Before I read what they say, dude started out as a fashion designer.
Oh, and he created douches too, right? Oh, no, that's Massendale. Sorry.
He reverse engineered, again, fashion designer. Reverse engineered Norman Osborn's, like, goblin serum. And he took out the side effect that caused insanity. So he essentially improved upon it. He made it better, and then, like, stole Norman's tech and shit like that. Now, I don't know what they're saying as far... Now, that takes a lot of intelligence, but I don't know how... I'm going to read this because I don't understand how they, like... what they're scaling intelligence by. Is this, like, scientific know-how?
And like you said, there's been more than one Hobgoblin.
There has been more than one Hobgoblin, but they better be talking about the original because he's the only one who fucking matters. Oops. A master of conniving maneuvers, the Hobgoblin has proved himself to be one of Spider-Man's most intelligent foes. Manipulating his way into obtaining the Green Goblin's formula and arsenal, the Hobgoblin managed to engineer a variant of the Goblin formula without the adverse side effects that plague Norman Osborn, giving him the strength and endurance necessary to battle Spider-Man. The Hobgoblin succeeded in shrouding his true identity in mystery for years, influencing key players in Spidey's rogues gallery and supporting cast in the process.
He was one of my favorite as a kid.
Oh, I love the Hobgoblin, dude. I may like him more than Green Goblin, and I know that's sacrilege, but he's awesome. In recent years, he has worked from the shadows, selling supervillain identities and equipment to the highest bidder, always demonstrating his business acumen. The contemporary Hobgoblin has hit upon a smarter way of making money than donning a costume himself. Now, all right, to be fair, he probably, I wouldn't say he has the scientific know-how and intelligence of the previous two, but again, you got to give him some credit for the reverse engineering of the Goblin formula. But one of the things,
and the stuff he's done, like, story-wise,
he got away with, like, for years they didn't know who he was. The original writer had to come back to finally reveal who he actually was, because it was presumed that it was Ned Leeds, but Ned Leeds was just a fall guy. Ned Leeds being like a Daily Bugle reporter, who essentially was framed, without going into the comic book nonsense. But yeah, he kept his identity secret for years. He constantly got away from Spider-Man. And then one of the things that I love...
Yeah, and it's also just like, you take into, like, how they talk about the different type in real life, the different types of intelligences.
True.
So he has more of those different types of intelligence than the ones that just have, like, they're scientists who could specialize in... You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Well, one of the things, too, that I liked about him, I think it was the late 90s when he finally, like, came back. They had revealed his identity or whatever, like, to the reader. But what I really liked is Norman had come back, and Norman was using somebody to be the Green Goblin. I can't remember who it was, but they sort of worked together. And Spider-Man was having to fight a Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it, like, whatever the scheme was, Hobgoblin gets away with all of the fucking money. And he, like, retires to a beach for a while. And you did not see him in the comic book for, like, years. So essentially, he pulled off a heist and lived the dream for a while. Wasn't doing shit. It was like, and I loved it because as a kid, I didn't see him for years. It was like, damn. One of them actually got away with it. Yeah. And, like, they did with, like, it was a supervillain that won. Not like, oh, world domination. It's like, no, I've made enough money. I'm going to...
He pulled off what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great. I mean, he's come back since then, but it took a long time, but it just awesome. Anyway, the Robot Master / Gaunt. Norman Osborn's mentor, the creator of the original Goblin formula, Professor Mendel Strom, has worn different guises over the years, but his intelligence always presents a substantial threat. A robotics expert, Strom's schemes generally involve developing state-of-the-art AI in an attempt to exact revenge against his former protege. Strom's strange intelligence has always let him elude death. While most of his appearances end in the villain's apparent demise, his robotics prowess has facilitated resurrection after resurrection over the years. He has successfully hacked New York's electrical grid, and even a Tri-Sentinel, and has made more contingencies against his own death than any reader could hope to count.
I mean, that's pretty cool, but
that's
I think Hobgoblin still beats that. Just because the multiple skills, the slyness, the intelligence to do what he did with the serum and the technology and all of it combined.
Yeah, I would say Strom should they should probably switch spots. And now that I'm reading the next one, I think this guy probably needs to go at 8. Strom needs to go down to 7, and Hobgoblin needs to be 6 because it's the Rose.
I don't even know who the Rose is.
Criminal gang leader, but we'll get to it. Like the son of the Kingpin or whatever. But the son of Wilson Fisk, the Rose, initially took on his persona to undermine the Kingpin's empire from within, eventually launching an epic gang war. By the way, there's about to be a Spider-Man event called Gang War. Where all of the groups are fighting again. The Rose is probably going to be involved. The Rose managed to stay a step ahead of the Kingpin for many years while successfully manipulating the Black Tarantula, Delilah, and the Hobgoblin into doing his bidding. The Rose's intellectual credentials lie in his ability to pose a significant threat to a brilliant foe like Kingpin for so many years. He may have ultimately been overshadowed and defeated by his father, but over the years, the Rose's calculated maneuvers kept both the Kingpin and Spider-Man on their toes. Again,
Black Tarantula. He's old school, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's been around forever.
I still don't think that makes him smarter than Hobgoblin.
No.
Now, this one's fair.
I almost feel like he'd be at the bottom. Number 10.
Maybe. That would be fair.
Until we see the rest, I guess. Morbius?
No, Morbius is actually really smart. And I'm not even going to go into his shit. I'll just read. But Morbius is very smart. He does have a science background. Morbius was a renowned biochemist before becoming a living vampire. Ironically, his brilliant intellect was also the character's downfall. After contracting a rare blood disease, Morbius did everything within his power to cure himself, but fell short, transforming himself into a creature of the night instead. However, when Morbius is more in control of his affliction, the brilliant scientist of days gone by still rises to the surface. His biochemical brilliance has made him an invaluable member of the Legion of Monsters, and Morbius has made impressive contributions to Horizon Labs during Dan Slott's run on The Amazing Spider-Man. While his Sony film didn't help bolster his reputation.
I was about to say, if you really want to know about Morbius, you watch that great movie starring Jared Leto.
The living vampire has proven his genius in the comics. One of the things about Morbius, an interesting fact about him is the whole reason he's Morbius the living vampire outside of story is because the comics code was in full effect at the time, and you couldn't, they didn't want to make an undead character or something, so the way around that was Morbius the living vampire. It was literally his creation was to skirt the comics code. So they,
well,
that
it worked.
Creativity under duress.
He was pretty cool. He's a pretty cool character.
Number 4, the Kingpin. Which, again, if we're going with organizational skills, getting away with shit, and constantly flouting the law, sure, Kingpin should be up there. Maybe doesn't have the scientific know-how, but damn, can he pull in the right people? Can he get away with shit? The dude was mayor of New York recently in the comics. In fact, when he was ousted for all the corruption and they found the crimes that he did, he married Typhoid Mary, who is a mutant, but since mutants got amnesty on Krakoa, he was able to get citizenship on Krakoa and be protected from, wasn't doing any crimes at the time anymore.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, I'm just saying, the Kingpin's a G, dude. Anyway, while not a scientific genius like much of Spider-Man's rogues gallery, the Kingpin's intelligence is rooted in manipulation, management, and tactical skills, like what I was just saying. Being the undisputed ruler of the East Coast's criminal underworld for more than 5 decades requires a keen mind, and the Kingpin has consistently demonstrated he is more than up to the challenge. In his early tales, the Kingpin stood out from other gangster villains such as the Big Man by pulling the criminal community into a well-oiled, coordinated cooperative.
I like how in that picture they didn't even use a comic book picture. They used the Vincent D'Onofrio picture because he does such a great job. I thought
Well, if they were going to use a comic book picture, they should use the one where he's in the fucking sumo diaper and he's throwing dudes around and talking about how, and then they're like going off about how he's actually like super muscular. But always a step ahead of his competitors and hiding in plain sight behind a veil of perceived legal legitimacy, the Kingpin has maneuvered himself into becoming the mayor of New York City. Not anymore. Must be a little bit old.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Jackal.
Dude, I don't know.
I remember it, but I don't know him
All
that
right,
well.
Before we get into that, I don't think the Jackal should be that far up. Like, again, scientific genius, yes, but this is the guy that's responsible for, like, the Clone Saga that everyone fucking hates. Like, the whole idea, like, where they were trying to say for a while that the guy, Ben Reilly, the dude who becomes the Scarlet Spider, he was the original Spider-Man for a while. They were trying to say, like, he was the original Spider-Man and the one we had been following for so long, Peter Parker, was actually the clone and shit. And it's just really bad. Like, and it wasn't until, like, the 90s that happened, because the Jackal's first appearance is in, like, the 70s or some shit. But, yeah, we'll get into it, I assume. A master of genetics and biochemistry, the Jackal is one of the few characters in the Marvel Universe who's perfected cloning technology. Unfortunately for Spider-Man, and the reader, the Jackal uses his intellect to torment Peter Parker, whom he incorrectly deemed responsible for the death of Gwen Stacy. The Jackal's fixation upon the Wallcrawler's deceased lover made him a key player in the Clone Saga, and involved him in city-spanning events like Spider Island, where his cloning prowess infected thousands of citizens with spider powers with devastating results. Obsessive, malicious, and fiercely intelligent, time and again the Jackal has proven himself one of Spidey's most dangerous and disturbing foes. Like, again, the Jackal's a cool character, but he is also the Clone Saga, dude. Come on. He should probably be at least 3 or 4 up the list from where he's at. These two, this is going to be the debate right here, because these are probably the most intelligent of the two. Number 2, Dr. Octopus.
Everybody knows Dr. Octopus.
Yeah. I don't even have to tell you.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not even going to go into it. You should know who Dr. Octopus is. Number 1, the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
What do you think? Who do you think's smarter? Like, do you think it's the Green Goblin, or do you think it's the...
Dr. Octavius?
Or do you think it's Dr. Octopus? And keep in mind, like, let's think of what they're... It's hard to say who's smarter, but who's been more effective? I would say the Green Goblin's probably been more effective at tormenting Spider-Man.
And tormenting everyone and undermining everyone.
True, and also the fact that, like, he pretty much... he had taken over S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while. He was
took over S.H.I.E.L.D. He did the, what's it called? The
Dark Avengers.
The Dark Avengers. He led the...
Siege on Asgard.
What's the... yeah. And the other group I'm thinking of. There was all, like... the criminals.
Like that. I can't remember what they were called, but they were like the Cabal.
Something Bolt.
Oh, the Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, yeah.
The Thunderbolts before he took over, like, doing the Avengers stuff. I mean, he hasn't just consistently been a thorn in Spider-Man's side, but and the fact that he pretty much killed Gwen Stacy.
But he's technically he's still a Spider-Man villain.
He is, but at times he's been a threat to the whole Marvel universe.
Yeah, so I put him ahead of Octavius.
I guess I would too, but we also have to remember that Dr. Octopus swapped his, like, in his dying
I forgot about that. Yeah,
his brain and with Peter Parker, and essentially was in the body of Spider-Man for a prolonged period of time. You know, so that's the major props right there.
I don't know. I'm gonna let you decide.
I guess I'd still have to go with the Green Goblin.
He's pretty epic.
But there's one person not on this list, and it kind of bothers me. Can you take a stab at who I think should be on this list and is not?
Vulture.
Hell yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
How do you not put Adrian Dooms on this list, man? But anyway, all right. That's the end of that one. That
was a
probably
given.
took up too much time.
That's all right.
All right. You got another story?
I'm out.
I got one last one, and then going into our fuck around shit. But this should lead into one of the things. This is about The Legend of Zelda is getting a live action film adaptation. So, Legend of Zelda, live action film in development from Nintendo and Maze Runner director Wes Ball. Hollywood, meet Hyrule! Nintendo is developing a live-action film based on The Legend of Zelda creator and game developer Shigeru Miyamoto announced. The game legend took to Nintendo's official X/Twitter account to write, "This is Miyamoto. I've been working on the live-action Zelda film for many years now with Avi Arad-san, who has produced many mega-hit films." He continued, "I've asked Avi-san to produce this film with me, and we have now officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it. The movie will be directed by Wes Ball, who helmed the Maze Runner trilogy and the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, written by Jurassic World screenwriter Derek Connolly, and produced by Miyamoto, whose involvement in 2023's The Super Mario Bros. Movie helped make it a groundbreaking box office success. Ball also produces with Joe Hartwick Jr. under their Oddball Entertainment banner. The Zelda movie is co-produced by Arad, whose credits include every live-action Spider-Man movie and the Spider-Verse animated films. The film will be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony Pictures Entertainment, with more than 50% financed by Nintendo. Sony will handle the theatrical distribution after decades of wariness when it came to adapting its video game franchises, partially stemming from the failure of 1993's live-action Super Mario Bros. Nintendo reached a box office high score with 2023's animated Mario starring Chris Pratt and produced with Chris Meledandri's Illumination. The movie jumped to more than $1.36 billion worldwide at the box office. The reason we were so resistant and careful to adapt our games into movies is because in video games there's always a player who overcomes challenges and fights their way through. Miyamoto told Variety in an April cover story, their struggle redoing the levels over and over is all part of it. He continued, "Just following the plot points of the video games will never work as a movie. Without the involvement of the player, it won't meet expectations. Plot and casting details are still under wraps, but the video game series follows the elf-like warrior Link, who sets out to defeat the evil Ganon and rescue Zelda, the Princess of Hyrule, the latest installment in the Zelda game series in 2023's Tears of the Kingdom, which sold more than 10 million copies in its first 3 days. Ball repped by WME." Okay, whatever.
So what has this Avi guy done?
So he's done a lot of the old Marvel stuff, but the Raimi Spider-Man movies and stuff like that. He's been a decent producer on things. I don't know what really to say about the...
Makes me feel good that Miyamoto's an actual producer. He's going to have a lot of say.
I don't know how to feel about the Maze Runner guy. I haven't watched the Maze Runner movies.
I don't think they were terrible.
Honestly, man, and I know which Jurassic Park movie did I say it was? Was that
Dominion?
Was that the latest one?
Yeah.
See, I've seen.
I had fun with that one. I mean, if you're gonna where Jurassic Park and Jurassic World are in a franchise, the point they're at, and that was kind of like supposed to be an ending to it. Yeah. I thought Dominion was fun. It did what it needed to do. It had Grant and Sadler in it. It had Malcolm in it. It had all the people from the Jurassic World. Main characters from Jurassic World. It was all everybody come together and had parts in it, and it was fun. Okay. B.D. Wong,
maybe it was because the first two of this new trilogy, because this is the one I've seen. The first one was okay.
Yeah,
it was all right. I absolutely hated the second one. It was boring.
Yeah, the second one wasn't that great. This one was kind of cool because it's like everything's in this, I'm not going to give you the whole plot or anything, but everything's it's like they've given the dinosaurs now free reign to live as natural animals in the world. And so they're all over the place, and they're everybody's trying to kind of coexist with them and protect them. And and the whatever engine is now, I don't think it's called engine anymore in the movie because it's changed hands, and this, scientist guy who's running it, he uses some kind of genes to make these type of locust who are immune to the shit. He's trying to change market prices and make sure people are buying everything from him, this stuff that is supposedly help rid everybody of them, and just to make a bunch of money and all that stuff.
GMOs.
Yeah, but it's these locusts, and they're but they get out of control, and they can't. That's become this. They're destroying everything, and it's actually a pretty. It's fun. It's fun. Malcolm was good in it. as always, Jeff Goldblum's the shit, and like it had fucking Dr. Grant in it again, and I always loved the character Dr. Grant, and so I mean, for what it was, I thought it was fun.
All right, so here's so leading in, keeping with the Zelda thing, since we're kind of in our fuck around now. I've got a 2 questions that I'll get to, but first I want to talk about the Zelda movie just a little bit. First of all, I saw a thing, and this sounds awful. Didn't even read the article. I just hope it doesn't happen. Machine Gun Kelly wants to play Link. Like,
that's not gonna happen.
I hope it does not. I will not watch that movie if that happens. And also, like, so here's the other thing. Do you think they're dropping the ball with making it live action instead of animated? Do you think a Legend of Zelda movie lends itself better to animation, or do you think they can pull off a live action movie?
I think they can pull it off, but I almost feel like they could do a lot more with it if it was animated.
I think it's doable. I just really hope that they don't go with like
there's other people online like wanting Tom Holland to play him.
I'd be fine with that, but they don't need to go with like.
And they were talking about it being funny as having Tom Holland play him and have him never speak once.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I'd be fine with that.
I want him to be like, well, excuse me, princess.
God.
Hey, man, that show was stupid as hell. Yeah. But you got to think about what they had. They had the first game to go off of. Yeah. They had nothing.
Yeah.
They had to just make up whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just like the Mario cartoon. They had nothing to go off of.
But I liked the Mario cartoon.
I did. Captain Lou Albano was the shit.
Swing your arms from side to side. Now you do it.
All of his like quips about he was like with pasta and everything involved, pizza or pasta.
Yeah. I just hope it's not all like A-listers, man, playing these roles. Like I hope they like cast people that are right for the role and not just movie stars. Right. A couple of movie stars that are right for the role, that's great. That's fine. But it does seem like it would be better if it were. It does seem like it would be a better movie if it would be.
And which story are they going to go with?
That's the other thing I was going to ask you. Is do you think that it would be better? Do you think it would be better
just do the original Legend of Zelda?
Well, no. Would it be better to do an original story, or would it be better to base it off one of the games?
I don't know. I mean,
and then
with the complexity of the timeline shit, and then I'm still trying to freaking grasp, but like, it might just be better to do an original story.
See, that's
or a little bit change story based off of one of the more simples, like earlier game stories, and like kind of make tweaks and changes to it.
No, but see, that's the thing too. If you're going live action, you have to kind of go with a game that's got a deeper story. If you're going animated, you could do something like the Minish Cap or something like that, or but I don't know, man. I almost feel like they've either got to do they've either got to do.
It's like, probably going to be Ocarina of Time.
It should be, to be honest with
you. It's when you really think about it, that's like the most popular one.
It's the one that makes the most sense to do live action.
Yeah.
Because like you would say you could do Skyward Sword, but honestly, you would need to do Skyward Sword as a prequel.
If you're gonna do it like live action, I picture it like, well, Majora's Mask live action would be more like this, but I like a more modern like feel of like Legend. Remember how that weird feel, and that weird feel of Legend.
Yeah.
It would be like that, but like more, of course, modern. But like,
well, see, Majora's Mask would be such a good sequel too.
Yeah,
because you could just get weird with it. But no, I mean, I hope it's good. I just, again, it probably should have been animated. But all right, keeping in that vein, this is the question: what video games or video game do you think would make a good show or movie? that hasn't been done yet.
Hasn't been done yet. Of course.
Or isn't in development as far as you know. So you couldn't say like Fallout because that's in development currently. That's about to come out.
Well, they were always talking about trying to do an Elder Scrolls, and it's like, how the hell would they do that? That would be another. That's kind of like a Legend of Zelda type thing too,
but
where it's figuring out a way to.
That's the thing.
Where to start, or
you wouldn't have to base that off a game though. There's so much lore you could place that anywhere. You could literally you could do about the rise of Talos if you wanted.
Yeah.
Or Tiber Septim.
True.
You could start that with you could do something with the overthrow of the Aelids.
If you could do like a television series.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't matter how it was done, live action, whatever. There's a few I think would be really cool.
Wacky racers, but it's Mario Kart. No.
I think God of War could make a good show.
Do you think it'd be better as a show or better as a series of movies?
A show, an ongoing series. There's something like that. Just like I felt like Lord of the Rings would have been better if it was done either like my dad used to say, it should have been 6 movies, or as a series. And I think like something like God of War, especially if you were going to start like from the beginning, which you probably should, you know what I mean? Like how he became what he was. But just like, I think that could be done really well. And then, let me think here.
I think they actually might be putting a God of War show into development, to be honest with you.
Really? That'd be pretty cool. And then, I think you could probably do something really cool with some of the soul stuff.
Yeah. That would actually be pretty neat.
Like there's a lot of like mystery intentionally to like a lot of the like background and like to the worlds in all the games because they're kind of linked, but they're not part of the same worlds a lot of time. But like there's like this weird link in some of them, and then like there's a lot of mystery that you really got to delve into some shit to like figure out about like, you know, characters and boss characters and why they're the way they are, and like, but I think they could do some really cool shit with that. That would probably be really cool. That would be either way, live action with, you know, with CGI stuff nowadays or animated. It would be cool as hell animated too. I mean, look at Castlevania.
Oh yeah. Well, see that I'm even saying that like with the Elder Scrolls, you could do some stuff like that. You could do some anime. You could follow a time period for the live action series. You could make animated movies for other things. I mean, it's really anything you wanted to do.
And the last one I'd say, Streets of Rage.
As an animated, animated movie, or as honestly, I could see that being live action.
I mean, a live action would be cool too.
I think a live action movie,
but goofy, animated would be cool too.
Goofy, over the top, 80s style, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if it was done right, that could be cool too. But
like, dude, you just get the guy who did Kung Fury to direct that. To be honest with you,
yeah, just tone down the goofiness because Kung Fury was so intentionally just over the top ridiculous.
I don't know how much.
I mean, he was bitten by a cobra and struck by lightning at the same time to get his powers.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know how much you have to tone down the goofiness, man. Like, you go with the plot of the games, and you make the fights like goofy. But I mean, still, like,
which ones do you think?
I'd probably end up just going with Elder Scrolls, man, because they've already done a lot. They've already done a lot of the things I would like to see. I mean,
I still haven't gotten to watch Last of Us. I heard it's great.
I enjoyed it. You know what would be crazy? I don't think they've ever done it. Fucking Wolfenstein.
That would be cool.
Wolfenstein would be, and that would have to be live action.
That weird, the spin on the Nazis and all that stuff.
Yeah. Wolfenstein would be nuts.
Have the Kung Fury guy do that, because he already was fighting Nazis in Kung Fury.
Oh, dude. I feel like that would be brain melting.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the last thing I've got. I want to do a thought exercise or a hypothetical, I guess, not really a thought exercise. And I'll give you an example. So I'll do mine first. I want you to imagine the world with one slight difference that would fundamentally change society. So my example would be like,
one slight difference?
Yeah, just one slight difference. One thing.
Oh.
Doesn't have to be like major. So my thing is like, what if we smelled each other's asses like dogs and could, glean emotions from that? Like, how would that change interactions every day? Like, I just walk up to you, Nathan, you smell like you're depressed. I can tell by your ass you're depressed.
Or that's how you determine you like someone or not dislike someone.
Nathan, are you not getting laid?
That'd be like that'd be a huge fun. That'd be like
it's a small change, but it does fundamentally change.
Huge
everything.
Fundamental change. Yeah, because when you first said it, before I realized you said small, I was just going to be like, no religion.
Yeah.
We would probably be able to have almost world peace.
But don't you think, like, even if it wasn't religion, something would probably, like, almost take, like, even if it wasn't worshipped, would take the place of the importance?
Probably. I mean, we are human beings.
Like, because that's the thing. Again, like, I do think it's funny to be like, oh, stay away from him. He's horny and angry. Yeah. But, no, I mean, like, then what? I'm not a big fan of religion either, but, like, it might become something so stupid like, fucking, you don't like the same soda brand that I like? What are you, a Pepsi bitch?
Yeah, and then people battling.
Yeah, people blowing each other over, like, soda supremacy. Like, I'm not sure, like, again, there would be things, but I feel like, and if you look at it, we take things to extremes anyway, dude. Like, forms of government are almost treated like religion,
What about if our feet are where our hands are and our hands are where our feet are?
That's not bad. How would that change society?
I mean, it would change.
Eating would be different.
Eating would be different. Vehicles.
Would we do handstands, do you think?
Vehicles would be different.
Yeah, they'd have to.
We would walk upside down.
So
we would still be on our feet stands.
I guess we'd have to, like, do a flip to poop so we didn't, like, shit on our heads.
Yeah, we'd probably, like, walk, like, Exorcist style.
Yeah. Imagine, dude, in a world like that, imagine what body horror would be like body horror movies.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like something that would be, like, in a body horror film. So it'd be like, it just reverses it and, like, somebody walking around normal, like, my God. What an abomination.
I don't know why when you said body horror, it reminded me of a movie, The Audition. You ever seen that?
I don't think so.
I think it's Japanese. You should check it out.
I guess in that same vein, like, imagine if you could smell through your genitals.
Yeah. Or you were like a butterfly and we tasted everything with our fingertips. You still used your hands. Because, I mean, butterflies still use their legs like legs. But everything. So, like, you go to open your door and then, a bird is shit on your handle. I mean, you're tasting that bird shit when you're opening your car door.
Here's one. Being, like, getting turned on. The opposite of that, like when you're getting turned off, it would have, like, the opposite effect. So, like, like, oh, fuck, that doesn't do it for me. I'm getting an anti-boner, and it's starting to come out of my anus or something.
It
reverses.
Goes inside out.
Yeah. Or, so, like, instead of your vagina getting wet, your pussy puckers. It just dries out. It looks like a parched set of lips in the desert.
It's a shriveled peach.
It looks chapped. You gotta need more.
Petrified peach.
We can just keep going with this till we get bored, dude.
Let me think of another here. Shit.
Oh. what if...
What's like the classic South Park thing when you eating through your asshole, shitting out of your mouth?
Dude, well, that's another thing. Like, just the idea of tasting in different spots. Like, if you could taste through your anus,
the fingertips thing is horrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, anything you did, you tasted. Anything you touch.
All elections are decided from sumo wrestling.
So everyone would probably wear gloves until they wanted to taste something. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, dude, but then they'd have like inserts in your gloves for like flavor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have like little tasty inserts.
Yeah.
What you got in your gloves today? What you touching, Nathan? What the digits doing?
It could be like eyes, like flying or spiders type style eyeballs.
Oh, if you had the vision, like visual acuity of flies, where it's like,
and you could catch everything around you, but like you're seeing like how they talk about it's like multiple. I mean, is that still true, or have they figured out that's that's something? No,
I think that's true. I think that's why
because that's what we learned when we were kids about their eyeballs. It was like back in early 90s science.
What if you could see like a different spot? Like you could either see ultraviolet. You could either see ultraviolet or infrared, like the Predator, or you could see
God, if everybody just saw infrared.
Well, no, I mean like you could switch your vision almost. Like
that'd be awesome.
You could see infrared, or you could see ultraviolet. You could see ultraviolet, or maybe you could just see like the magnetic field.
Would that increase crime, or you think that would cut down on crime?
With which one?
Being able to have switching your eye. Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I feel like it'd be a wash. Because, like, you can do it, which would make you more capable of certain crimes, but somebody else could do it and catch you...
Easily.
Yeah, and catch you more easily.
That's what I mean.
But also the tech would have to develop, too. The tech would have to develop, too, where you'd want to mask your body heat for the infrared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So... the infrared would probably...
Which they have that stuff in real life.
Yeah, the infrared would probably increase crime, to be honest with you, because you'd figure out how to mask it. But all the other stuff, And then there's going to be crimes of passion, too, like you're not going to be wearing your heat suppressant suit when, you're murdering somebody because they banged your wife.
What if, like, our world was like functioned on like the standards of like Mortal Kombat based on a tournament every 10 years.
So every 10 years, like if you wanted to take over somebody's land, like,
everyone selected a champion.
Yeah. That's how Korea could
get to control the other. Yeah.
That's how Korea could reunify.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
South would win easily, I think.
They would, especially if it was like...
Because everybody in North Korea is malnourished or extremely overweight.
Yeah, especially if it was like the Korean leaders, because the Korean dictators down the line, because it's all been diminishing returns. Like, Kim Il-sung might have been able to throw down, but Kim Jong-il could not throw down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody in North Korea now is either like starving, most are malnourished, or you got the guys who are running everything who are, are just like, I mean, look at Kim Jong Un from when he started compared to now.
Well, again, so
because he's just sitting around fucking eating probably McDonald's.
Well, like I said, the first one was Kim Il-sung. He actually looked like he might be in shape.
Yeah.
Then you had
Kim Jong-il.
Jong-il, and he looked like
he was practically blind too. I think so how thick his glasses were.
He looked like Asian Katie Lang, dude.
Yeah.
And then Kim Jong-un had fucking gout. Like when he first, like
when he was born,
within a few like years of him being like the leader of North Korea, he's like suffering from gout.
Speaking of that, have you seen the Little Big video Lollybomb?
Maybe. If you showed it to me, I probably saw it.
It's the one where it's like Kim Jong-un, and it's like he's in love with the missile.
I think so.
And he's like, he goes to bed with it. There's even like a sex scene where he's like fucking it, and like, it's hilarious, dude. You should check it out.
All right. I guess we can wrap it up unless you got any more.
Nah, I think I'm good. That's all I got.
All right, man. Well, episode 5's in the can.
In the can. Flushed. We'll see.
Out of curiosity, about how long has this ran?
We're at 1 hour and 30 minutes.
All right, yeah. Well, that's a little longer than we usually do.
Yeah.
All right.
Until next time.
Bye.